Today's guest is someone who's turned pain into purpose. She's a personal coach, a conscious sobriety advocate with over 41 months sober. She's inspiring over 100,000 people online with her message of transformation and hope. From battling old habits to building a platform that changes lives, she's proof that you can rewrite story. Please welcome Cristal Aguirre. Thank you for being with us today. We really appreciate you for coming and giving us your time. But let's get into it. Cristal, before the 100K followers and coaching business that you have, who are you really, and what was the breaking point that forced you to change?
Oh my goodness. I was I had like a realization that I was just putting myself in danger and putting other people in danger all of the time. I knew that, man, I got into a car accident. So I got into a car accident.
Yeah.
And this was in November of 2021. And in this time when I got into the car accident, I was drinking. I had already been on a binge of drinking alcohol the whole time. And a friend of mine, I had just, I think a couple of years before that, left a job that I was at where I was a veterinary assistant for a couple of years. So this coworker of mine, we were like, oh, let's go to the casino.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'll drive. And for some reason, I don't know why, I feel like I always have to drive. I don't know. Even when I was drinking, for some reason, I just always felt like I trusted myself driving rather than other people. But anyway, so we were like, okay, let's go to the casino. And actually, we were supposed to go to Joshua Tree, but we ended up at the casino. That's what happened. So we ended up at the casino and we're just drinking. You know, they had like live music, which was really cool. And so I ended up drinking all night, you know, and that time that friend, he was like, oh, let's get more drinks. Like he kept trying to buy me drinks.
Yeah. And you were the one driving?
And I was the one driving.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then he actually was like, what did he say? He said, oh, let's get a room. And I was just like, I'm not going to get a room with you, bro. Like, I have to be at my boyfriend and I are going to do something tomorrow in the morning. And so, but I continued to drink. And I ended up just waking up in the car, in the driver's seat, and he was in the passenger. So I think this is like the stuff that I had a hard time processing. Usually whenever I would drink was like, fuck, like what happened last night? Did I, and this was stuff that I would have to like think about, like, did something happen? Did I do something? And I didn't remember. So I would always wake up with anxiety, like no matter what, whenever I would drink, because I would just drink to black out. Yeah. And then, so that morning I was like, fuck, it's late. I was like, I need to get going. So he was still knocked out. I just started driving and I was hungover. So I was like, fuck, I'm going to get another drink. Yeah. So I looked up on Google Maps. I looked up for a bar. I looked up a bar and then I found the bar and I stopped at the bar. He was still knocked out this whole time. I stopped at the bar and I bought like I think a double shot of Crown Royale or something. And then got back in the car and started driving. And this particular morning, it was super foggy. It was foggy. And what ended up happening was I ended up running 2 red lights. I know I hit 2 cars that day. I don't know what happened to the first car, but the second car was when I hit somebody, like hit somebody. They were turning. I ended up taking the red light. I think it was their turn to make like U-turns and stuff. Okay, so yeah. I hit them, and then we ended up on the side of the road. And my friend was like going off on me. He's like, what the fuck are you doing? And I was just like, fuck, I'm going to go to jail. Like, that's all I was thinking about, right? And I'm there.
So if you got away, don't incriminate yourself right now, okay?
Yeah. Oh, I always talk about this. Okay. I always talk about this story. You gave me a look like, oh, shit. Yeah. So what ended up happening was, so my friend friend, well, he's not my friend anymore, you know, but so what ended up happening was he got out the car. I went out of the car on that side, and then I called my boyfriend at the time. I was like, fuck, like, hey, I'm not going to go to Macon. I'm probably going to get arrested. Like, I just got in a car accident. Yeah. He's like, what? What are you talking about? I was just like, I just got in a car accident. And then, like, actually, so what happened was, I'm getting the story mixed up a little bit. What ended up happening was, so there was a random pedestrian, and he's like, somebody should help the lady because it was still foggy.
Yeah.
So then I went over and I helped the lady out of the car because there was still cars coming, and I didn't want her to get hurt. So I pulled her out of the car, and as I'm pulling her out of the car, I'm just saying, I'm so sorry. Yeah. It was my fault. I'm so sorry. You know, and she's talking to me in Spanish, and she's just like, ¿Qué pasó? Like in shock, like in complete shock. And I was just like, oh my God. And so I put her and I sat her on the curb, and then that's when I called my boyfriend, and I was just like, hey, like, I'm probably gonna go to jail, like, this is it. And then because he asked me, he's like, where's your friend? I was like, he left.
Yeah.
So I looked up and my friend was gone.
Oh wow.
So he left me there. And he's like, and I told my boyfriend that. He's like, wow. He's like, all right. He's like, well, if the cops come, tell them that he was the one driving. And I said, okay. I said, all right. And I'm not a good liar.
Yeah.
I just can't lie, man. I can't. And so when the cops showed up, I just told them the story, and they believed me, and they took down my friend's information. My boyfriend came to pick me up, and I even stood to translate for the lady because she didn't speak any English. So I was translating for her to the paramedics and the police officers, and then that was it, right? And then the next day, that friend texted me, and he was like, what did he say? He's like, oh, why did you lie? Why did you tell the cops that I was the one driving?
Oh, so they already had contacted him.
Yeah. And he's like, you better tell him the truth. And I was just like, fuck, man. I was like, I do have to say the truth because, like, they had a felony warrant out for him for hit and run.
Oh.
So, and I knew he had a family, you know? So I was just like, fuck. I was like, all right. So I called the cop the next day, and I told him, I said, hey, man, like, I got to tell you something.
Yeah.
And he's like, what? And I was just like, I lied about my friend driving. I was the one driving.
Oh, okay.
And he's like, I knew it. He's like, why did you lie? You know? Yeah. And I was just like,
did he get upset? Was he upset, or he was just talking to you normal?
He was kind of like lecturing me, you know?
Okay.
He was like telling me, I hope you learned your lesson.
Yeah.
Because you could have killed somebody. You could have killed your friend. You could have died, you know? And he's just like, just so you know, we're going to have to book you for something anyway. Yeah. So I think they like charged me for resisting arrest or something like that, which I had to go to court for after. But yeah, it was crazy how everything happened, man. I don't know how, like, sometimes I still think about stuff that's happened to me and when I was in addiction and all of the stuff the dangers I put myself in and other people. I don't know how I'm like sitting here in one piece sometimes, you know? Yeah. And, so that really was what kind of like put me into like, okay, let's figure this out, you know? Like, I didn't even get sober until March.
Okay.
So that car accident happened in November.
Okay.
But I got sober in March. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Was there anything that was making you drink like that, or excessively, or you just had to? Like, was there like a traumatizing time in your life?
Oh yeah.
That you were going through?
Oh yeah. There's so many things, and it's just interesting. Because we kind of were touching on stuff before we started the podcast, you know, and I have been through a lot in my life, and I've realized I had a really big breakthrough recently where I realized that the real addiction for me wasn't even alcohol. Like, the alcohol was just a mask for the real addiction that I had. Yeah. The real problem. And I realized that my real addiction was external validation. Having to need somebody to feel like, or to feel like I was worthy of being here, to feel loved, right? So because of that addiction or desperation of needing that, I've put myself in situations where things happen for me. Like I ended up getting jumped.
Really?
By those people that I was talking to you about. Yeah. I got jumped, and it was...
Was it males too, or just females?
It was just
Just
girls. It was
females.
girls. It was girls and then their mom.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't the girls.
Oh
and
my
their mom.
God.
I know.
Not the mom.
Yes, girl. The mom came in and was choking me out. Yeah,
Shut
yeah.
up.
It was
Oh
it
my
was pretty
God.
crazy. And so there was just a lot of stuff that's happened to me. And there was just so much even after that happened to me, I've always been the type of person to reflect on mistakes that I've had. Always, no matter
Yeah.
what. And even then when that happened, I decided to reach out to these like individuals and actually apologize
Oh, okay.
for my behavior, for whatever I did to make them do that to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I was like, damn, like maybe I just wasn't a good friend, or maybe,
Gotcha.
you know,
Right.
I can't be like, oh yeah, they were just jealous of me or whatever.
Yeah.
Which maybe would have maybe was part of it, but I was just like, yeah. So it's just a lot of stuff that's actually happened in growing up, and you know, my parents were always at work.
Yeah.
My sister was the one who kind of raised me, and she was also almost really never there. So I just went through
Yeah, so-
life alone pretty much,
Yeah.
you know?
So
And
is that why maybe you feel like you needed that validation you were speaking about?
Yeah.
That you were masking because they were just so busy. Maybe not that they didn't love you, but it's just, you know, just life happens and they got to
Absolutely.
work.
Absolutely. And I think for me, when I was running away from myself, really, like I was running away from the pain, running away from actually feeling the pain, really,
Yeah, yeah.
because once I got sober, I cannot tell you how like angry I was. I was so angry all the time. I was so depressed.
Yeah.
I just was not a very good person when I got sober for
Okay.
the first, like at the first couple of months. Like people don't talk about that really. Like when
Yeah.
you do get sober, you're like angry, you
Okay,
know?
yeah.
And and at least that's just for me. And I know I was angry and really depressed most of the time because I finally gave myself the space to feel all of the, can I curse? I don't know.
Yeah, of course.
All the
Yeah.
bullshit, all the bullshit I've been through, you know? And that's another thing too that happened to me recently when I was in that when I reached that breakthrough recently. I felt that rage come back. I was so fucking angry recently.
Yeah.
And I was angry because I was like, man, fuck all these people that did this shit to me, bro. Like, I was just so angry
Yeah.
because I was like, I felt like even when I was a baby, like stuff that's happened to me, trauma wise, you know, I'm just like, this is bullshit. Like I was just a child and all this shit happened to me and now it's my responsibility to fix this shit. Like
Yeah.
it's fucking bullshit. You know, I was so mad for a long time or for a couple of days about that.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to give myself again the space to be angry because
Yeah.
I was so fucking mad. And then I obviously channeled that energy and went to
Right.
the gym.
Okay.
I went to
Yeah,
the gym
yeah.
and did that because I was just telling her earlier, I was like, man, sometimes I still do get the urge that I want to drink.
Yeah.
Like, it's not something that's gone away completely, you know?
Especially
And-
like if you're trying to mask the anger, right? You're thinking like maybe just let me have one and
yeah.
get a
And
little numb.
For sure.
yes. Or even just happy, you know? Sometimes I'm
Yeah,
happy
yeah.
and I want to celebrate and I want to like drink, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just like, fuck, I can't, you know? Like, I
But
was,
do you think now, like if say like you were to have a drink, do you think it'll lead you to that path again? Tasting it again?
We
were
just
talked
talked about that.
We just talked about that. I told her, I was like, you know what? I said, I don't know. I think maybe down the road, I'd maybe want to try and see if this is something that really is an addiction for me because, you know, like I said, I realized that the real addiction was actually external validation and it
Gotcha.
wasn't really the alcohol. The alcohol was just masking the real problem, right? So I was like, man, I don't know. But sometimes I do think about it and then I get scared. I get scared because sometimes I feel like if I did, I'd probably just go off the rails, you know?
Yeah.
Like, because some people, I was just mentioning to her earlier, I said some people do get sober and they're sober for years, right? Years, and then they relapse and then they never come back. Like, they end up just like,
Do you think part
dying.
of your fear comes from you're still trying to work through certain things? Yeah. Right.
Yeah, I think that's really it, because I mean, our growth is like forever, right? Like
Right.
trying to grow and learn, and I do my best every day to learn stuff about myself, and then if I do learn things, I do my best to integrate all of that knowledge and wisdom into my life, really.
Right.
So I'm not just like spewing and talking about shit, rather
Yeah.
actually embodying what I talk about, right? And being that person that I talk about. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's
Because you mentioned earlier, sometimes like, oh my God, I sit back and think like, holy shit, what did I do? Or what was I thinking in that moment? You know, and we've all went through it. Self-reflection, self-talk, kind of sit through that pain. Like, oh my God, I did that, trying to get over it, you know? But I mean, you've turned your journey into a platform now.
yeah.
And people admire you. And you're real, you know, to even say, hey, sometimes I want to drink. And it's not even because, oh, I'm sad or I'm depressed. It's like, I want to celebrate. Like, I've done this, I've done good. That's real, because most people won't say that.
Yeah.
And that's normal. That's what makes you relatable
Yes.
to people going through your journey.
Absolutely. And I'm sure, because are we all Mexican?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
So
Mexican rehab,
we
girl.
listen, when you're around your family, everybody's drinking.
Yes.
Everybody's drinking. Then the tequila comes out,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
like just like fuck. Like I've had situations where I'm like, fuck, man, like FOMO, like where I'm just like, I'm missing out on
Yeah.
the celebration now because everybody's drinking and I'm just not part of it anymore,
Yeah.
you know? But I've gotten to a place where I'm just like okay with that, because for me back then there was never just like one shot. There was never just one drink. It would be to drink to blackout.
Yeah, there
So-
never is.
So then I wouldn't remember anything. Like I'm just
Yeah.
like, okay, I'm celebrating, but I don't even remember.
And
the
if you don't
celebration.
take that shot, people think there's something wrong with you. Like, yeah, if you don't take that beer,
Yeah.
that shot, like, you're the problem.
Yes,
Because it's in our culture to celebrate.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And it took a long time for my family to actually realize that I was serious about my sobriety. I think my dad, I think sometimes even now, he kind of like, oh, what are you drinking? You know?
Okay.
I'm just like, I'm drinking water. Or
Yeah.
I'm drinking sparkling water. You
Was
know?
there ever a time when he asked you that kind of question that you got defensive? Like, or anybody in your family, you know, like if it was a joking matter because to you it was serious.
No, I
Okay.
think they knew that something was going on with me, but because also our culture is very just like brush shit under the rug and not actually face things head on and
Yeah.
help each other. It just like that was where I was enabled the most, was with my family. Like that's where I was like drink and like they don't care, you know. That's kind of how I would bond with my dad. Was
Yeah.
like, drinking.
Pero
And
say, nomás uno. Nomás
Yeah.
échate uno.
otra, ¿quieres otra? Okay, te traigo otra.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
so it never got to that point where I was defensive about it, but there was times where like I would be around my dad and he's just like drinking and I could smell the whiskey or something, and I just like it would get me mad, you know, because I'm just like, fuck, man, like I don't want to be around you,
Right.
you know. And I love my dad so much. I love him, but it's like it's still something that he does. He still drinks,
Right.
and I think, and a lot of people, I think too, at the beginning, what happened too was people would feel guilty for drinking around me.
Yes.
And then
Would that kind of get you mad or no? Because
then they would project it onto me.
Yeah.
Yeah, they would be like, oh, what would they say? They would say, oh, you're not drinking anymore. Like people would make comments as like, oh, like you're too good to like
Yeah,
hang out, or like, come on, you don't want to take a shot, you know, just like stuff like that. And I'm just like, all right.
Projecting for sure.
So then I kind of stopped coming around for a little while until I felt like I was solid to be around them again. Then I started to come around again.
yeah.
But,
But what's your process for when temptation's in front of you? Like, how do you deal with that internally?
I think for now, at the beginning it was really hard. It was really hard. The beginning is always so tough, man. Oh my God. So that's why, like, I'm always just telling people, like, when they do ask me, how did you get through it? I'm this 1 month sober or something. And I just say, you know what? This is going to be the toughest part for you. The toughest part is always the beginning. And when I did go through that temptation, when I was with my family or with the friend group I was still hanging out with, I would just look at it and just ask myself, is it something that you feel you should do right now? Do you need this? Or I would ask myself, what would I ask myself? I would ask myself, why do you want it? Why do you want to drink right now? And a lot of times it was because the same thing, I didn't want to be left out, or I was going through something around that time. And so I practiced a lot of self-awareness at the beginning. And oh man, it was so tough.
Self-talk is hard.
Yeah. Did you have a mentor for that, or?
No, not at the beginning. At the beginning, I was in a relationship at the beginning of my sobriety, which is why I have so much love for that person, is because he helped me get there.
Okay.
He would take me to church.
Yeah.
And so when we were at church, he took me to a Christian church, right? He took me to a Christian church, and then for some reason, this Christian church did Lent. So I decided to give up drinking for Lent. And I did it, and I stopped.
Okay.
And then I continued after that. But no mentor. And even around that time, I feel so bad for him because I was just taking out on him.
Yeah.
Take out everything
You're
on
putting
him.
him through everything. Huh?
Yeah. Oh my God, pobrecito. But, he stuck through it the whole time. And then, unfortunately, I just kept growing. And, when you keep growing and you both aren't growing together, then you grow apart.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's what
happens
happened.
with relationship friends, So what did you have to do to kill yourself? Like, not kill inside, to become who you are today? Who did you have to kill inside of you?
Man. I feel I didn't have to kill anything inside. I actually had to make best friends with everything that was inside, because I think that's also part of stuff that's happened to me when I got into the spiritual community, where there's this whole talk of killing the ego, right?
Okay, yeah.
But you don't need to kill it. You need the ego. That's how you survive in the world. That's how you get to your job. That's how you want to do better for yourself, right? Okay, you need the ego. So what I ended up doing was diving in deep to all of the trauma I went through. Mm-hmm. Everything I went through from 5 years old to now, and made best friends with that inner child of myself, the shadow part of myself, which is the dark part of me.
Okay.
But the dark part of me is the best part of me, So I made best friends with everything inside. Yeah. And I would say that with doing that, versions of me did die with that, though. So, which was never the intention. The intention was to make friends with whatever I had inside. Okay. But the versions of me did die. And the versions of me that died were the versions of me who were constantly seeking validation from other people. The person who was always insecure if she wasn't the center of the attention in the room.
Yeah.
And the versions of me who needed something to cope with, who didn't know how to deal with stress, who didn't know how to actually have a conversation with people. Right.
Yeah.
Because that was a crutch for me too, was alcohol. I would say I'm going to drink and I'm not myself without the alcohol.
Okay.
It's bullshit.
Yeah.
Now that you went through this process, right? And I mean, again, congratulations on your sobriety. I've seen it firsthand. I've never experienced it, how hard it can be. So definitely commend you. So circling back now to the culture part, Mexicans, right? Especially women, we're so strong. Yeah. And I'm sure you went through this because we had a prior conversation. Everything's hush hush.
Yes.
Right. Nobody no, don't tell them that.
my
Don't say that.
gosh.
Make sure nobody knows. We want to appear perfect.
Yes.
As perfect as we can be, image wise. So now that you've taken your story to this platform, you have a following, people believe in you, they seek advice from you, they want that willpower that you have right now. Have you gotten scrutiny from your family or people that you love for putting your story out there?
I wouldn't even, okay, so I didn't even give my family the opportunity to do that.
Okay.
They had no idea what I've been doing on social media.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
It literally wasn't until like, I don't even know, like a couple of months ago when I moved up to the mountain, actually,
Gotcha.
that they started to realize that I'm actually doing something on socials.
Right.
And I think they always kind of knew, but I don't know why, man. This was always a problem in my family where I just always felt, I think that's also why I would always seek external validation, because I just always never felt good enough for them.
Mm-hmm.
And I love them, right? But this is how I felt growing up. My sister, she like graduated high school, went straight to university, like got her doctorate. Like she did the American dream thing, right? And I am the complete opposite. Right. I was the one with the addiction. I was the one partying. I was the one doing drugs and like being crazy. But my family, as much as I wanted to do things when I was younger, like I wanted to get into acting, I wanted to get into performing. I was always really, really good at arts. Like that was my thing, right? But my family was very just like, no, go be a doctor or a cop. That's what they wanted me to do. And I never wanted to do it. And I just, like I said, I just never felt like I was good enough. And I kept this part of my life that was literally out to the whole world, right?
Yeah.
A private from them. Like they had no idea that I had this many followers on social media, that I talk about my sobriety journey on social media. And even now I think to them, it's kind of, I don't think it's that big of a deal. But
Did you think it was going to be this big?
no, I had no idea. I started sharing the journey when I was 6 months sober.
Okay.
And then I continued every month. Every month I would make a video about the milestone or what I went through that month. And I still do that now.
Yeah.
To that 41 months later, I still do that now.
Does having this many people who truly believe in you help keep you going, accountable every day with every decision you make?
Oh, yeah. How I mentioned earlier, how I was like, oh, maybe I could drink, but I feel like there's too many people rooting for me right now.
Yeah.
But
You don't want to let them down. You feel.
yeah,
maybe.
and I feel like not only that, but there's also people who are waiting to see if I'll
Go back into it.
yeah, like to see if I'll like fail and do this, or like what I do is a lie and
Yeah.
like this is all for show, and
Yeah.
it's not,
Just for following, maybe just to.
Isn't it
monetize
crazy
and
that you
stuff.
have people waiting?
yeah.
I'm like, who has the time? No, literally, you're waiting for me.
Yes.
Like,
Oh my gosh, you have no idea. Like I mentioned to her earlier, I've literally gotten like threats, like people messaging me to my phone,
Really?
sending text messages to stop talking about my sobriety, that it's phony, that it's fake.
Yeah. And are these people that were close to you at one time, or they're close to you now?
You know what? Man, so I have a theory, okay? I have a theory. And so every time I've had a guy want something from me, and because they think that I'm a certain type of way because I have OnlyFans.
Okay.
So when I meet them and I carry myself differently and I am not that type of person that they think that I am,
Gotcha.
I think they end up getting disgruntled and end up with, animosity
'Cause they
toward
didn't get what
me,
they
and
want.
like then start to do things to harass me and like say things to me trying to make me small again and to be ashamed of myself. I feel like
Gotcha.
people really want me to hate myself because of stuff of that,
Right.
or because of my sobriety journey, stuff that I've done. And man, I don't
Yeah.
hate myself. That's me going to addiction was hating myself.
Right.
Yeah.
Being here now, I don't hate myself, man. I don't even judge myself for whatever I've done, because
Yeah.
I'm not out here killing people. I'm not out here like, you know, stealing from people.
Yeah.
I'm just doing my best, and I do my best every day, you know.
I think the sad truth is that they're just probably mad and hate you because you did it and they can't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's all what it comes down to.
Yeah. And or because I just didn't sleep with them.
Oh my God.
I think
Yeah.
that's a huge one.
That too. That's
But
a
like-
huge one.
Yeah.
Let's
Like,
talk
but they
about
should
that,
be mad at
though.
themselves, you know? Like,
It's, to be honest, what ended up happening, so I had gone to Minnesota. I got flown out to Minnesota to go talk to a couple of sober living homes. And I shared my story, but I realized that that's also not my community, because
Okay.
I feel like the sobriety community, I was just mentioning to her earlier too, we were just talking about this, how a lot of different communities are very rigid in their structures and their beliefs and how things should be. And
Got you.
and I didn't fit that part.
Yeah.
I never went to treatment. I didn't go to a sober living home. I didn't go to AA. I went to
okay,
AA on a court order for a couple of times.
Yeah.
But after that, I was like, I'm not coming back, because it just never resonated with me, you know?
Okay.
And so when I went out to Minnesota and I witnessed what this sober living community is like, I was like, man, hell no. Like, I don't want
Yeah.
any part of this. And another part of that, I feel like, is also projection, because these people were telling me that I was using the sobriety community to make money for my OnlyFans. That's what they were literally telling me. I was like,
Yeah.
hold on, wait a second, let me check myself, you know? And then I was like, wait, that's not why I do it. That's not why I did it. And I was just like, man, I had OnlyFans even before I got sober.
yeah, you're like, I was popping before this shit.
Exactly.
Like, what are you
So
talking about?
I was like, hold on. These are just stories that these like men or whoever it is that like make up, because I feel like they really want to believe that I'm like this crooked, like bad person.
Yeah, yeah.
And then now, right? And then I got to this point where I'm just like, man, I don't give a fuck if people think I'm a good or a bad person.
Yeah.
Like,
who
I
cares?
think people who really know me, they're going to know who I am.
Yeah.
And everybody has their dark and good side. Everybody does,
Yeah, yeah.
right?
But when you started the OnlyFans, did
Yeah.
you feel like, were you thinking about that, the stigma that it would come with? Like,
No.
Because if a girl has that, you automatically think that, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, they're this way, they're that way.
Yep.
Like, were you ever like scared about that, or you just didn't care?
When I had started, it was during COVID.
Okay.
And I had no idea what the fuck I was going to do.
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't working at the animal hospital anymore. I had started to work at a gym and as a receptionist for a little while. And I'm just like, how do people survive?
Everybody's
These
talents came
fucking
out during
jobs,
COVID.
bro. Like,
Everybody's talents came out during COVID.
yeah. I was like, how do people survive? Like, with this fucking like minimum wage, you know? I was like, hell no. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna fucking start OnlyFans, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there were so many people that started one. Around
I
that
love
year.
that shit. I think it's so cool. Like, I mean, I just
Did you ever think about starting one?
Hell yeah! You see how much money these people are making, and then I'm thinking like, I'm not gonna say that, but what? Yeah, I should have. All right, I should have.
And you know, it's like I said, people want me to be so ashamed of that. Like, and every person that I've encountered, even after that, like, project the insecurity, all that stuff on me, and I'm just like, man, fuck this. Like, I can't be ashamed of this, first of all, because I know I'm not the only one that's done this, because this is literally what we need to do in the moment to figure out how we're gonna survive,
Right.
you know? And then what ended up, like, I just feel, because I did start that, it gave me so much freedom. I didn't have to go work at a 9-to-5 anymore for a boss that sucked, and work with a bunch of people I didn't like.
We're gonna have to talk after this.
Yeah. and then it gave me the freedom to really like heal and figure out all of these traumas that I had and grow in every aspect of my life, really. And I'm not glorifying it either or evangelizing it. I would, like, if someone ever did tell me, I would always tell them, don't do it, man. Like, the scrutiny, like, unless you are prepared for what comes with this, the people that people are going to talk shit about you. People are going to say things to you, literally send threats to you. If you're not ready for that, don't do it, because it's just not worth it. It's not worth it. But if you have that thick skin, man, go for it. Like, sometimes I even get mad at myself for caring so much about what people think.
Yeah.
Because just like she mentioned, there's people out there like making millions of fucking dollars. And I'm just like, man, I wish I didn't give a fuck. I wish I did it, and I'm definitely at a point now, like I said earlier, where I'm just like, I don't care anymore. Yeah. I really don't care. These people aren't paying my bills. They're not taking care of me. I need to figure this shit out on my own and make my own way, right? And that's really it. So, like, but these people, I'm telling you, when they texted me, they were telling me that they were passing around my phone number in AA meetings.
Really?
And talking about me in these meetings. And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, grown ass men who are supposed to be talking about their sobriety in a fucking circle at AA are having a meeting about me? What the like, I'm just some random person on the fucking internet. Like,
do you think you were a threat? Because do you think it's a business? Like, that's a business, right? So now you're becoming a threat to the business because you're doing it on your own, and you're showing and you're speaking about that you're not doing it with them.
Yep.
So that,
Absolutely. And so these text messages that I received, they were just saying, oh, I could sue you for fraud. Stop talking about our faith. Stop talking about God. I was like, I could talk about God all I want. Who the fuck are you to tell me who and what I can't talk about on my own platform? And the fact that, I didn't resonate with AA, right? I didn't resonate with it. I didn't resonate with going into a meeting with a bunch of people who were already just completely ashamed of what they've done, which you shouldn't fucking be ashamed. I think that's bullshit, man. Like, people that sit around in a circle and just talk about what they're ashamed of. Like, come on, man. Like, there's so much beauty in what you've done. There's wisdom, there's lessons here that you can grow from. So when you walk into these meetings, right, you're just like, hi, my name is Cristal and I'm an addict. Like, I don't even want to identify as an addict anymore. I want to grow from here. So I feel like even that in general, our words are so powerful. So when you say these things about yourself, you're keeping yourself in this loop, right? You're consistently feeling guilty and shame for being an addict, and that you have a disease, and that you can't, like, yes, you fucking can, man. And that's what I talk about on my social media, which is why I feel like I did not fit in that community either, because for me, I talk about you taking your power back. You can definitely do it yourself.
When it comes to social media, what do you think is the biggest risk that you took that really just got your following going? Like,
the biggest risk, I feel like being controversial in general will literally just, like, you need to trigger people, man. Because how am I this person who does modeling, right? And then did OnlyFans, and then got sober, and then talks about mental health and, like, all of these things to help people realize things. Like, it pisses people off. Like, because people don't want you to be hot and sexy or confident and talk about, or even be intelligent. Like, they don't want you to talk about stuff that actually matters in society, right? Like, they don't want you to do that. They want you to just be this, and you're just this. Like, shut up and sit there and do that. Like, but no. I think that's really what ended up happening for me is doing the modeling and then still talking about what I've been through. But when I started to talk about my sobriety, that's really when everything kind of
took
like
off.
Because people were like, oh shit, like. But you know what ended up giving me the courage to start doing that? TikTok.
Really?
This is why I tell you guys, get off fucking TikTok.
TikTok's a place, dude.
Because that's that's where I started to build the confidence in talking about my sobriety, because when I started to share those stories on there was so much positive feedback there. And Instagram is just so annoying. Like you either have to have like this crazy outlandish life to look good on Instagram. And it's bullshit, right? But on TikTok, you could literally be on there in your kitchen in PJs, not doing shit, and you can literally go viral. Yeah. Because people like authenticity. So, and that's where I feel like social media is literally going to now. Like people aren't on there for the show anymore. Like people want real people on there, like their authentic self and like showing up.
Did you have this idea beforehand, right? Because we've all, I mean, it's happened to me, and I'm sure you, so many times where you wake up and you're like, you see someone on social media, right? With your idea, like, man, I wanted to get my idea up off the ground and have this following and do this, and I didn't have the courage to do it. So beforehand, did you have a game plan? Did you have an idea like, okay, this is what I'm going to try to do? These are the steps I'm going to take to try to do it.
No. So when I was right after high school, when everything happened and I ended up getting jumped, I deleted everything. I deleted all of my social media, and the only thing I had left around that time was YouTube. Okay. And at that time I was like, for some reason, man, it's just always been a natural thing for me to try to inspire people, even when I wasn't trying to do anything big, like on social media. And people would just naturally ask me questions, because when I was working as a veterinary assistant, I was working graveyard. And right after that, I would go straight to the gym. And people would be like, how do you do it? And like all these things, right? And I would just talk about it, right? So it was never a plan, you know? And what ended up happening is I just stuck with it. Like I've tried to upload as whatever I could and when I could and whatever I liked, right? And I tried to do the makeup. I tried to do the workout. I tried. It just didn't work for me, right?
Did you ever do the food content?
I never tried that. No, that's actually really popular too, huh? The food content. Yes. And then I just started talking, you know, and just share. And then I realized that I think I'm actually pretty good at telling stories.
Good storytelling.
So I was like, okay, I think I'm just gonna talk. Like I think we're good, and then, you know, things just happen.
It just happens when you're that good. It's like if you're just a vibe.
And people like you, right?
Yeah.
So,
for sure.
I think as long as you're just like yourself, that's really it. Like people just want to see you be yourself.
Yeah. I mean, many people fear selling when their brand is mission driven, like yours, right? How do you balance purpose with profit without feeling like you've sold out?
Man, so you know what? Okay, so I saw this really, really good reel this morning that this lady said, and I'm sure she was an entrepreneur because she looked like done up, beautiful, you know, makeup. And she said, every business is a scam to everybody who has a job. But what they don't realize is that their job is a scam too.
Yeah.
Like they'll go up and down and swear up and down saying that like, oh, this business is a scam and this and that. But like, where's the real scam? You spend your whole life at this 9-to-5 job and work 80 hours and end up with disease, and you give up your life for this job. But you want to talk shit about somebody who's starting a business. Yeah. You know, so I feel that when I heard that this morning, I was like, wow.
Damn, like when I heard what you just said, I got sweaty. Like, that is personal.
Yes, girl. So I was like, oh shit, it's true. Like it's absolutely true. And that's what I think for me, that's definitely been something where I'm like, damn, I don't want to like sell. I don't want to do this. But man, we're all selling things even when we're not trying. Yeah. Yes. All that you're like, even if you're on social media and you're trying to post yourself and you are selling yourself. Right? But there's a point where you need to know your worth, you know? And all right, how can I start a business out of this? How can I create a life out of this? How can I start doing something for myself rather than putting all of these hours into building someone else or working for a company that doesn't even care about you, you know? So it's vision, really.
Yeah. Vision of victory, baby. Yeah. Well, I mean, fast forward 5 years. What does Cristal's movement look like? Global retreats, publishing, speaking, tours, full-scale brand. What are you doing?
You could do the
What's
meanest
the vision?
tour ever. You better take me with you, girl. You could do the meanest tour ever.
I love you. You're so sweet. Oh man, to be honest with you, I think right now the focus for me is to build that community. I was talking about this with her earlier. I said, man, because I don't feel like I've ever fit in any community. The spiritual community I didn't fit in. Yeah. The sobriety community I don't fit in. Yeah. And the religious church community I don't fit in, you know? So I'm just like, all right, you know, now I'm going to try and build something for the community that is looking for me, really, because I know I'm not the only one that did not resonate with AA. I know I'm not the only one that didn't resonate with spirituality and what comes with that community as well. And I feel like creating something for them that has to do with, like, I don't know, maybe like an unconventional sobriety. I don't know, something, right? Yeah. And I think making that my focus is to really try and help people. That's really it. Like, that's where my vision is right now, and whatever comes with that, you know, is
bring it on
extra. Yeah. So, and I think since I've focused on that either way now, this is why I'm, you know, getting asked to be on people's podcasts and like do all this stuff, because like I'm not doing this for me. Then I realized that this wasn't for me when I was, I don't know, maybe about a year sober, or when I started to share it, I was like, damn, like, this isn't even for me anymore. Like, this is for the people who message me daily or in the comments saying like, damn, like, me too, or I'm this much sober, or I got sober because of you, or I'm alive because of you. And I'm just like, holy.
Has that sense of responsibility ever, I mean, I don't want to say some days, moments where it's like, oh my God, like a lot, like it weighs on you for a minute. Like, man, you know, you're not responsible for them, but they're counting on you.
I feel like I was built for this.
Oh my God, I love that answer.
I was built for this, you know, and I do have a mentor now.
Okay.
And I adore her, man. She's such a badass. And she's reminded me of that. Like, because she also looks at my astrology chart. And, like, we look into all the technicalities of different things that have to do with our design. And she's like, girl, you're literally designed for this life, you know? And I do. I feel like I'm built to withstand all this bullshit that people try to project on me, all these insecurities. And so I can walk in a room and trigger people just by being in the room, right? And like, that's what I'm built for, and that's what I came to do. And
confidence triggers people.
Yes,
it does.
Yes, and I'm just like, bring it on now. You know, before I was very timid, very like, oh, I don't know if I should talk about this, or I don't know, maybe I'm being a little too sexy, or I'm being too this. Like, fuck that, man. Like, I just want to be myself. That's it. Because I also did have another mentor before the one I have now.
Okay.
Which I had in the spiritual community, and I adored her. I have so much love for her, but that connection was very manipulative, and I also realized that with anybody, I think in anyone, especially in the sobriety community, if anybody who is literally desperate for that validation or seeking help, there's people out there who are literally waiting to prey on that, to feed on people who are like, oh, I need this, or I need, you know. And when I had this mentor, I felt like the most insecure the most, like, just, that's why I tried to, like, get off of OnlyFans and, like, oh, I'm going to try and get out of it, or I'm going to get out of it.
Yeah.
Because they're very traditional, right?
Okay.
And very, very, things are supposed to be this, and this is how that. And I'm just like, man, this. And I didn't even realize that I was in that type of connection until I actually got out of it. And I was like, holy shit. When I was not friends with her anymore, I felt so free.
Okay.
I felt so free. And I felt even bad because I knew this the whole time, that she would project her insecurities on me, or like she would make little comments about how I was dressed, or if we were in a ceremony, like she'd always talk about the guy and the, like, I'm like, I'm not even fucking talking. What are you talking about the guy for?
Jealous.
Yeah.
I'm like, girl, I'm here to do some ayahuasca. Stop fucking talking to me about this
You're
guy.
my mentor. Let's go.
Yeah, you know. So I was always just like, this is weird, man. And it was just weird. It was always really weird, and I tried to let it go to I tried to.
He's like, don't say her name. Don't say her name.
No, I tried to be really mature about it and tried to address it with her a couple times, but it always ended up being my problem, where it was like, oh, you just think everyone is jealous of you. You just think all this, and I'm just,
Oh.
yeah. So it was always
Envy.
gaslight. Yeah.
Envy.
Yeah, and even the mentor I have now, oh my gosh, I freaking love her. I don't know what I would do without her, because after that whole thing happened, I was going through it, man. I was so sad. I feel like friend breakups are worse than
They're the worst.
than relationship breakups.
But you know what? Old mentor, we wish you well. We're glad you're gone. I mean, look at you now.
Yeah, and it literally, after I parted ways, like, there were so many opportunities that were coming in, and I was just like, damn, bro, that was she was blocking my abundance, you know, and I wasn't even seeing it, and I was just like, okay, it's fine, you know, this is good. I'm gonna work through this. We're gonna get through this, and I did, and I'm grateful for her, man, because she did teach me a lot, and I was always so sad about it, because when I would go on podcasts or everything, I would always talk about her. Everywhere I was at, I would always talk about her. My mentor this, my mentor does this. And that's the type of person I am.
Yeah.
If I'm in a room and you're my friend and you do something, like, hey, I got a friend that does this. That's the type of friend I am. But it just didn't work out, you know? So
Yeah. Well,
I'm grateful I did it.
we're down to the last minute. One last question.
Okay.
Finally, for someone who wants to turn their personal struggle into a movement or brand, what's the first step they should take today? Something quick.
To not give a fuck what people think about you.
No.
Really, because those things that you are ashamed of, those things that you're afraid of talking about, those are your biggest power. Like, that's your biggest power. That's what you can always turn into gold. Like, just talking about your story and owning that shit. Because when you own this stuff, there's nothing anybody can say about you that is gonna move you. So just own that shit. Stop giving a fuck what people think, and just do your thing.
For sure.
Yeah,
Sounds
well, you
good.
guys heard it
Absolutely.
here. Don't give a shit.
Well, thank you, Cristal, for being here again. Honestly, we're truly grateful for you coming and sharing your stories, and
Thank you for having me.
looking forward to see what you do in the next 5 to 10 years.
I'm excited.
Yes, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Cut.
Yay!